Welcome everybody, my name's Fiona, I'm the Taubmans Colour Specialist and we're here tonight to answer all of your frequently asked questions. So what we do is, I'm all good now, fantastic. What we do is we go through all of our social media platforms and we collate questions that we're frequently asked and we create these sessions which we run. I think we do the frequently asked questions every third week. So really it's an opportunity for you to have a voice. Certainly use this time to put any questions in relating to colour, any projects that you're embarking on, or if you'd like to know something about our wonderful portfolio of products that we have available to help you to create that fantastic space, here is your opportunity to have it answered. So I'm on screen for the next half an hour, and while we stream, we encourage you to upload any questions that you do have. If you do have photos, I have since found out that once I am no longer streaming, that's when you can actually pop your photos into the feed, and I will do my best to answer all of your colour queries, etc. that you do have. So as I said, hop on the feed, pop in any questions that you do have and use this as an opportunity to have a voice. So I'm going to start tonight. I do have a few questions. Oh, it looks like I might have the first question for the night. But I'm going to quickly start because there's something that I've been out and about in stores this week, and everybody, well, maybe every second person is embarking on some form of a renovation, and a lot of it involves having an extension, etc. So they are wanting to know, the question that I was asked is, can I use interior wall paint to seal my new plasterboard or gyprock, whichever you prefer to call it? So look, interior wall paint is designed to be used on your broad walls interior, of course, but if you've got new gyprock or new plasterboard, we do have a product that's called 3-in-1, and it's a primer sealer undercoat. And the reason that we recommend you use this is because plasterboard contains very fine pinholes and it's actually quite porous or quite absorbent. So we want you to seal your plasterboard first, and by using something like 3-in-1, it has fantastic filling capability. So all those little fine pinholes get filled with the 3-in-1, giving you an even surface, if you like, which is going to allow for an even distribution of your top coat, which is what you want. And when you're using a top coat, you're going to use 2 coats of something fantastic. We have a wonderful, as I said before, portfolio of products available. And something like Taubmans Endure would be something that I would definitely recommend. So that was a question that I was asked. And I was also asked, can I use the same paint on my skirting boards as my wall? So look, I would say if you want your paint to perform the way it's designed to, I would say no. We have a specific product designed for, say, your skirting boards, or as I like to refer to it, as your doors and trims. Now, your trims, you've got to think about this. Your trims are something that, if you're anything like me, you're vacuuming, etc., you're pushing, you're going really hard into the trim, so you want something that's really, really hard and can withstand that sort of action, if you like. And the same for your doors. You want something that's going to be able to handle, because you think about a door, very rarely, I know in our house, do the door handles get used. It's generally, hands straight on the door. So you want something that can withstand the grease and dirt that comes off your hands and goes onto your painted surface. So I always recommend something like a water-based enamel. We have a fantastic water-based enamel. It contains LTA, which is lipophobic technology. So basically that's extra protection when we're talking about the grease that comes off your hands, etc., onto your painted surface. So it offers extra protection. You can literally wipe your doors down, even a little bit of spray and wipe if you need to, and they come up a treat. So that is why we have different products. Now, one more question, and then I'll start to answer what I have on the feed. One more question is colours to make a room look more spacious. So here's something to consider. If you have a space that's relatively small, this is the way I like to work with it. If you're I like to say use one colour. And so by that I mean use something, using a very soft white, and you use the different paints as I've just discussed. So you would use a flat on your ceiling, so a ceiling paint that's a flat. And the reason you use a flat is because you don't want any glancing light coming off the ceiling. And secondly, if there are any imperfections in your ceiling, having a flat paint is going to hide or help hide those imperfections. So use a flat, and you can have that tinted to a very, very soft white, On your walls, you can use the same white, but I'd be doing it in a low sheen. And then on your doors and trims, using the same white again, but you can certainly use something like, as I said, a water-based enamel, but you can use use it in a semi-gloss or a gloss, depending on what you prefer. And the reason using one colour, so imagine this, I don't know what you have at home. If you have a coloured wall, I'm looking at a wall now that has a colour, and where the cornice meets, the cornice is white and your eye is naturally drawn to that space. So your eye goes up to where the colour ends. Your eye can sort of glance around the room and you can look at the space and you can sort of size the space up if you like. Whereas if it's all one colour on the ceiling, walls, doors and trims, but as I said, using the applicable paint and finish, the eye sort of glances over, looks over the ceiling, looks around, and there isn't really a stopping point or a focal point with colour, so to speak. So it creates the illusion of more space. So that's one way to create a more spacious room, if you like, using colour. So I do have some more, and I have got another quick question here, and then I'll go straight to the feed. What are some colour ideas for roofs? Okay, so the way I like to work is, if you're thinking about painting your roof, there is a ColourBond roofing colour collection, if you like. And if you visit a hardware store where you go to a Taubmans colour wall, you will find that on the right hand side down the bottom you'll see a section that says ColourBond colours, and all of the ColourBond colours are listed in there, you know, by way of a colour chip. I always say to start there, because if you are, for example, like we have just done recently, we've had our roof sprayed, and then we've put an extension on where we've used a particular colour of roofing iron. So, you know, and we want it all to marry together. So if you select from the ColourBond colour range, it's a very safe choice, and they make all of the things when we start talking about guttering and fascia in that colour as well, garage doors, windows. So I direct you towards there. If you're not sure where to look, I'm just quickly going to switch from myself to my laptop, and I'll pop myself up in the corner. Yep, that has worked. So if you go to www.taubmans.com.au, this is somewhere to start. Now, as I talked about before with our products, look, all our products are listed down here. You've got your prep paints, exterior, interior, doors and trims, ceiling, etc. So if you're embarking on, you know, a painting colour journey, this is a destination to visit, because you can find some fantastic information on this site. Now, as I was saying, if we're talking about roofing colours, hop into where it says colours, as I'll do here. And, oh, maybe I'm already here, sorry. Paint colours, 2021 colour trends, colour tools, colour together, colour smith. So we can go into paint colours, that's where I want to take you. I'm here already. We click on the search engine here, like you can see the little search that's up in the corner here. Let's click on that. And now if I put in ColourBond, beautiful. And then if I click here, it should all, there we go. So it's going to give you the most popular ColourBond colours. So this is a great place to start, as we said, if you're looking to paint your roof. And then if we go down here, it has them all listed here, so you can actually, you know, peruse them from the comfort of your own home, if you like. So this is a really, really good place to start. And I must admit, as I was saying before, we're embarking on our renovation. The colour that I used was ColourBond Wallaby. I absolutely love it. But anyhow, that's somewhere where you can start. All right, so I'll come back now and let's have a look at some of the questions that we do have here. Okay, hi Clara, thank you very much for joining our session tonight. Your question is, hi, I'm interested in using Alpine white for wainscoting. My question, which light grey would suit? I am planning to have light grey wall on top and Alpine white at the bottom. For the dining room, I would have a full wainscoting and bottom wall wainscoting for the other walls. Would you recommend to paint the whole room in Alpine white, or one wall full of white for the wainscoting full panel and the rest grey and white? I'm thinking of painting the kitchen cotton sheets or crisp white. Which white should I use then for the dining room? Okay, I'm just going to quickly read this again so that I can work this out. So I'm interested in using Alpine white for my question, which light grey would suit? I'm planning to have light grey wall on top and Alpine white at the bottom. Okay, so if we're talking about Alpine white. We do have two. We have Alpine snow. Let me just see if I can find them. So actually I can bring them up on the screen here and then I'll shift to the screen. Beautiful. Let me just go to the laptop, pop myself in the screen. Okay, so I've just found the Alpine snow and I will take you across where you can actually see. There you go. It is a beautiful colour, and I must admit that this would be one of my favourite colours. And if you have been watching or tuning into these sessions, you'll see that I refer to this colour quite a lot. I think it's a beautiful tone. The undertone, it has sort of a soft, sort of a greeny, sort of grey undertone, and it just works with so many colours. So looking at Alpine snow, let's just quickly find you a grey that's going to sit with that. Just bear with me as we are live as I go through this. Okay, I'll just need to find it on my fan deck. I'll leave that up there. So dear mate, I'm taking my time here, under pressure. All right, here we go. 9, beautiful. Okay, so Alpine snow, we've also got Aspen snow. I think there's another question, someone. Beautiful. Okay, so Alpine snow, and you're wanting a beautiful grey to go with that. I guess the other thing is, what type of greys do you prefer? Because Alpine snow is such a neutral tone, you can put some beautiful, beautiful greys. So I'm looking right now at something called Taubmans Going Grey, which I'll bring up on the screen in a moment. And obviously it depends on the intensity that you are after as well. So, okay. Ooh, Winter Mist looks beautiful with this. Let's see if I can get that up for you here. Let's heart that so we can leave that in there. Let's have a look here. Here we go. Oh, it's coming up. Winter Mist. All right, it's a beautiful, beautiful tone. So if I heart react that as well, we can go back to the menu and have a look. That sits beautifully with your Alpine snow. Even you could go, actually, you could go just a little bit more intense. Let's give you one more colour as well here. So if you go into taubmans.com.au and go down into the colours, and select colours, and then you use a search engine or the search function as I am, you can actually view all the colours, and and then heart react them, you can save them, and then you can go back and view them again. So it's a really good way to start your colour journey. I think that the Alpine snow and the Going Grey are probably the two colours that I would recommend. Let me just see what else you're asking. Okay, and for a white to work with those, you probably want something that's relatively clean and fresh, I think, to complement those. So you could go straight for Taubmans Brilliant White. We could do that, or let me see what else we have here. You know what? You could actually use the Taubmans Crisp White. I think the Crisp White would work quite well. Now, the other colour as well that would be worth a look, Clara, would be to have a look at the, you've got Alpine Snow, but also have a look at Aspen Snow. It's very similar to the Alpine Snow. It's just has a little bit more depth, if you like. Not a hugely large amount, but just enough. So have a look at that as well. That's the Aspen Snow. So I hope that helps you. If you're wanting any more information, please pop some queries that you may have in the feed, and I can certainly come back to you. So thank you. I'll just bring myself back. Okay. All right, what else do I have? Okay, so Hi Pranav, thank you very much for joining our session tonight. Now your question is, what is Taubmans equivalent to Lexicon and what is your whitest white for outdoors? Okay, so we do have a colour that is called, there's a couple of colours you could look at. There's a colour called Miss Universe, which is probably quite close to the colour that you're talking about. Another colour that you could also look at is Crisp White. What is your whitest white for outdoors? Now, look, our whitest white that we do have is Taubmans Brilliant White, and that is a very stark, bright white. But when we start to talk about using whites exterior or on an exterior, what we need to be mindful of is that if it's out in full sun, etc., you're going to get glare. So the last thing you want to be doing is walking outside and having to wear your sunglasses because it's too glary to actually look at it. So my suggestion when you're looking at using a white for exterior is to have a look at a white that has a little bit of depth. Because when it's put out in the outdoors, if you like, it will dilute down or bleach out once the sun's on it. So you could certainly have a look at Taubmans South Pole. The other colour that's definitely well worth having a look at is Colorbond Surf Mist. It's one of the most beautiful soft whites, and it's a very, very popular colour. So I'd have a look at those two, Taubmans South Pole, or have a look at Colorbond Surf Mist. Thanks very much. If you need any further information, please pop something else into the feed and I'll be more than happy to help you. Okay, hi Michelle, thank you very much for joining us tonight, and your question is, good evening, about to embark on a new build and I'm stuck on external colours. Can I mix cool and warm whites? If so, I'm thinking surf mist roof and then looking for a warm white or light beige for the cladding. I have an inspo picture that I can post at the end. Do post your picture at the end. I'd love to see it, to see what you're thinking. Look, you can mix warm and cool whites. You just need to be mindful that, I guess, that there is enough depth within the colour so that when you're putting one white up against the other, that one doesn't make one look dirty or the reverse. So I would certainly, if you're going to be looking to use something like surf mist, and then so what are we talking about using surf mist roof and then looking for a warm white. You can certainly use a surf mist for a roofing colour. I think it's a beautiful choice, and I can certainly help you with a warm or a light beige. I'd be more than happy to help you with some colours that are going to work with that. We can actually have a quick look now. But do pop your inspo picture in the feed and I will be more than happy to help you bring that picture to reality if you like. So, okay, I guess the thing that I'd be looking at, if we're looking at doing something like that, would be to ensure that the colour that we're going to use on the external cladding just has a little bit more depth than the roofing colour. So, looking here, I'm just looking at my sort of beigey tones, if you like. You could certainly use something like, we could use something like Taubmans Abstract. We could also use something like Taupe Stone, and I'll pop these up into the feed for you. And I'm looking at Pebble Bay, but I don't think that that's going to work. So yeah, we can have a look at Taubmans Abstract, and we can also, the other colour that I did say a moment ago, I will Taupe Grey. I'll pop something like that up into the feed for you at the end once I have seen your image. Actually, I might just pop it up here quickly so that everybody knows what I'm talking about here. All right, let's see if we can get this up here. Taupe Grey, here we go. There's one. It's just taking a moment. Alrighty, we'll go to the end. See, there's a beautiful tone there with Taupe Grey, which I know would work really, really well. So, but let's wait. I'll wait for your image and then we can go from there. But thank you very much for your question. Okay, the next question I have is, hi Hi Hazy, thank you very much for joining our session tonight. Hello, can I please ask your thoughts, or what your thoughts are on Windy Beach full and half strength, please? Right, let me just see if I can, let's just actually go straight here and see. I guess the other question, what sort of, Hazy, where are you going to be using these colours? Are you going to be using them internally, externally, etc.? And then I can sort of get a better picture, I guess, of how the colour is going to work within your environment before I can really go into a lot of depth. So if you can please come back into the feed with a little bit more information, but I'll see if I can get the colour up here now, and then I'll share my screen for you. Nice, beautiful. Alrighty. There's Windy Beach. That's a beautiful, beautiful tone. Again, looking at that, it's a very, because I can sort of see on the screen there, it's got that slight undertone again that tends, more of a neutral undertone that tends to work with so many colours and work, I guess, within so many environments. If you were going to be using that externally, which I'd really love to know a little bit more about, I'm not too sure if you went half strength whether it's going to have enough intensity to work, especially if you're going to use it sort of on, let's say, on the whole body of a house. But if you can certainly come back to me, that would be fantastic. Thank you. All right, let's have a look here. I think for the moment, as we scroll down the bottom here, I think that I've got most questions there for the moment, but what I would like to bring to light here is I just quickly want to show you something. So if you are embarking on a colour journey, as many people are, and that's why we're on screen here to talk about it, it can be really daunting, and it's sort of like, where do I start? And I know that for a lot of people that are talking about painting externally, I just want to show you something very quickly. So I'm going to pop that up onto the screen, which is our exterior colour card, but I want to show you how, excuse me while I'm having a look, I want to show you a really quick, I guess you could say, tip to using these. So as you can see here, you know, the colours are all sort of divided along here, and I can go through, as we can see, all of the panels there. But the fantastic thing is down the bottom, along the bottom row here, they have the Colorbond colours. And the way it's designed, and I'm just going to show you now, is you can actually fold each colour, if you like, to a family. And that family there, or that line of colours, is designed to work with the below Colorbond colour. So if you're embarking on a colour journey and you're thinking, you know, I really like the look of Colorbond Surf Mist, but I'm not sure what's going to work with it, rest assured that the colours that are within that line, or the colours that are running above, are designed to work with that colour. So that's a really good starting point for when you're looking for exterior colours. Now for interiors, and we do get asked so much about whites and neutrals, and I'm always asked about whether, you know, how do I know what is a warm white and a cool white, etc., and where do I begin? Now this is so handy, and the reason being is it's made, or it's been made to actually use. And the reason I say that is, let's open it up. That's what it looks like, but as you can see, I'm working backwards here. You've got cool here and you have warm there. So the beauty is, fold it in half, and there are all your cool whites and neutrals. Flip it over, and there are all of your warm whites and neutrals. So again, if you're unsure about where to start, grab yourself one of these, work out whether you are drawn more to, you know, the cool whites, or whether you prefer more of a warm neutral sort of white, and then use that as a good starting point. And as I've shown you tonight, it's really easy to navigate the Taubmans website. So it's www.taubmans.com.au. Hop on there, navigate yourself around to where it says colours, use the drop down menus, use a search engine, as I have shown you, where you can actually, select from so many different color families. But the colors have been grouped within families. So you've got whites and neutrals, you've got black, blue, yellow, etc., etc. And it's a really good starting point. You can save your colors on there so you can pin them and have a look at them. It's just somewhere to start, because I understand how daunting it is when you start a color journey. So these sessions, I guess, are designed to help you. Now, the other thing I want to show you, just something very quickly, I talked about before, doing a color scheme and using one color, but changing different products and also changing the sheen levels. So I want to show you, and I'm going to use a red color chip to show you what happens when you change the sheen level, show you how it sort of, by glossing up a color, it kind of intensifies it a little bit. So here's a straight out red color chip, and here is a red color chip that I have split in half. I've literally just put some clear tape over that side, but you can actually see how by glossing up a color, how it changes it. And you know what, if you're embarking on your color journey and you're looking to paint a front door and you're thinking, this is a great way to see what a color will look like for your front door. So you go to our color wall, pick or select yourself a color, and then a simple trick is just to use a piece of clear sticky tape over half of the chip, and that's going to show you what the color looks like when it's intensified or when it's been glossed up. It's a really, really easy trick, but it is a fantastic way to view color. Now, the other tip I'm going to give you tonight, when you are embarking on your color journey, because I've talked about using whites and colors outside, and whites do have a tendency to bleach out, and they do have a tendency to not look, I've had people that are disappointed with how a color looks when they put it in an exterior environment. And the best thing that you can do, or the best tip that I can offer you or suggest, is to get yourself a sample pot. Now, what you do is you get yourself a piece of cardboard, and you want it to be at least 1 meter by 1 meter. You brush out the color, so you're giving 3 coats onto that piece of cardboard, and you move it around the exterior, different areas of the exterior, whether it's in full sun, so you can see how the color's going to work within that environment. And look, the same applies for an interior, because just because, Joe down the road has got a white in their space and you absolutely adore it, the minute you put it into your space, it can change and look nothing like the color that is down the road, even though it's the same color. And it's things like lighting, flooring, other colors that are around within that space that will affect your white on a wall. So again, is go and get yourself a sample pot, brush out that large piece of card, and move that card around the interior of your dwelling. And I suggest putting it down near the floor, putting it up near the ceiling, moving it around different rooms where you're getting, where there's low natural lighting, and rooms where you're getting full sun, and also of a night when you've got your artificial lighting on, to see how the color is going to work for you. And by doing this, you can really guarantee yourself that you're going to be satisfied and happy with the color that you're about to use. Because I know that, when you're embarking on a paint journey, if you're getting somebody to do it, obviously there's a lot of cost involved. If you're doing it yourself, it can be very labor intensive, and you really want to be satisfied with your color. So the best thing you can do for yourself is to get yourself a sample pot. So that really about wraps up tonight. I hope you've enjoyed tonight's session. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll be back again, same time, same place again next week. If you do have any further questions, etc., I will be off screen, but behind the computer answering everybody's questions for the next half an hour or so. So please feel free to upload any photos or images of areas that you have that you're wanting assistance with. And until then, stay safe, everybody. And as I always say, happy painting. Bye.